Hello, my name is Xion. The title for my presentation today is People in the Blind Spot of Ukraine War. To begin with, I'd like to start by talking about the Ukraine War briefly. As you know, the war started on February 21st, 2022 due to Russian airstrikes on Ukraine, and this war has lasted for more than 4 months. Contrary to the expectation that Russia would occupy the Ukraine within a few days, Ukrainians have been holding their ground against Russia. In moments of strong resistance, Russian attacks and war crimes on civilians have been increasing. The war is a tragedy to everyone, but especially the socially weak are experiencing a double tragedy. Among them, children suffer from serious trauma as they go through war at a young age. On June 1st, UNICEF said the 100-day war had a devastating impact on children at a scale and speed not seen since World War II. 3 million children in Ukraine and 2.2 million children in neighboring refugee camps need humanitarian aid, and nearly 2 out of 3 children fled their houses. In addition, according to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, more than 2 children are killed and more than 4 are injured every day in Ukraine, and they get hurt by explosive weapons. Moreover, at least 256 health facilities and civilian facilities continue to be targeted by Russia, and hundreds of schools across the country have been destroyed. Especially, the situation of children in eastern and southern Ukraine, where the conflict has intensified, is in a more desperate situation. Meanwhile, war crimes against women are continuing. Of them, the biggest danger Ukrainian women face is sexual assault. And such crimes against adult women and young children have been happening. They are suffering from mental trauma, but it is difficult for them to be treated for psychological trauma and physical pain caused by sexual assault, as it is a wartime situation. Since the outbreak of the Ukraine war, when Ukrainians have crossed the border to escape to neighboring countries. On July 6, UNICEF's announced said that about 8.8 million people fled Ukraine to escape the danger of war. While a lot of people escaped their country, and estimated 2.7 million Ukrainians with disabilities are in serious danger from the war. And the shortage of electricity during the war has caused damage to people who depend on power supplies such as respirators and refrigerated medicine. In addition, important information about safety and evacuation was rarely circulated in accessible formats to the disabled, and it made it difficult for them to prepare for evacuation. It is also difficult for those who succeed in evacuating to use shelters and transportations at the border. Therefore, more aid assistance is needed for the socially disadvantaged in Ukraine who is more severely damaged by the war. And for these people, the international community and various NGOs are providing help. First of all, NGOs such as UNICEF and Save Children provide health and medical supplies to children in war areas of Ukraine and psychotherapy to children suffering from the trauma. They also support education services for children's right to education. Second, international aid organizations provide medical service for women suffering from sexual assault, and many women's organizations are continuing protests for women in Ukraine. On the other hand, the IDA is calling for Russia and Ukraine to protect the disabled, and many organizations for the disabled are promoting safety measures, but there is a dearth of assistance and policy. In the moment of national crisis, the socially weak are in the blind spot of society, and they are easily forgotten for the humanitarian process. While a lot of people and organizations around the world have been reaching out helping hands to Ukrainians, these helping hands should be given to everyone fairly and justly, with no exception. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.